We traveled down to J.E. Dunn to catch an inside look at the construction world. We're here today at J.E. Dunn with Jason Banks. Can you tell me a little about what you do here?
Absolutely. So I support people. That's what I do day in and day out. More specifically, I head a team of men and women across the country supporting all of our projects, buying materials and supplies.
What type of stuff supplies do you use and how is it used?
So we buy a lot of stuff. So just this week alone, my team and I, we were buying everything from nails and lumber to drywall to $1 million pieces of equipment, right, for projects that include data centers and hospitals and other big buildings like that.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the $1 million equipment you use?
Absolutely. So we build really big buildings that require a lot of energy. And it takes really big pieces of equipment to generate all of that energy. And some of them are very, very, very expensive.
Has any of the equipment been used here in Kansas City?
Absolutely. So just right outside this window, I don't know if you all can see it, but there's a courthouse that we're renovating. We also did a lot of work on the Kansas City Zoo. And so if any of you all have been to the zoo and visited the aquarium, we did a tremendous amount of work on that project. In addition to that, we were just looking at a map this morning, and Kansas City has been home to J.E. Dunn for over 100 years, and so our fingerprints are all over the city, ranging from schools to libraries, buildings like I mentioned, and even some really cool apartments just a few blocks from here.
Is there any information you'd like to add for kids that might be interested in working in the construction field?
Absolutely. So when I was in elementary school, when I heard the term construction field, the image that came to mind was a long day's work with mud on your boots, but it's so much more than that. I've been with J.E. Dunn for 5 years now, and I've met attorneys, I've met people that have engineering backgrounds, have gentlemen on my team that has a military background. We have teachers and educators. There's all sorts of jobs in the construction field. So as you think about what you want to do, don't look past construction as an opportunity, because there's so many options to work in this field.
If you enjoy working outside, being hands-on, and you're good at math, construction is the job for you. What do you do here at J.E. Dunn?
So at J.E. Dunn, I lead our education group in what's called our client solutions team. So basically what I get to do every day is I get to talk to different school districts on the Kansas side and on the Missouri side and really find out how their facilities are performing. So if they have middle schools, high schools, elementary schools, early childhood center, performing arts, different aquatic centers. Really, I work on the very, very front end before we even build any type of building to really understand what our clients' needs are and perhaps what type of funding we can help support with them so that they can get the facilities they need for their kids.
What are the steps to build a building?
Well, it takes lots of steps, depending on what type of building it is. An elementary school, obviously, we can build that a little faster than a middle school and a high school. So you're looking at, anywhere from 12 to 24 months in duration that it really takes to build a school. First, it really starts with partnerships. So we first are aligned with an architect who is going to build or really design the vision for what the school is going to look like. Then they partner with engineering firms, so they're really developing how the building will work. So the plumbing and the electrical and the HVAC and really everything, the guts of how the building's put together. And then we come on board. So we're the builder, the construction management firm, and we bring in all of our trade partners. So we have cement masons, and we have skilled trades in concrete and drywall and all of the different things that really make the building come to life. And we help manage the whole project to make sure that that architect's vision at the very beginning really comes to fruition at the end in a built structure.
What project are you most excited for, or what's been your favorite project?
I would say a project in the Dunn history that I am most proud of our company being involved in would probably be the Kaufman Performing Arts Center.
Behind me is Kaufman Center, one of J.E. Dunn's many projects. What would make a good construction worker?
Well, I'd say there's two parts. There's obviously the part to wanting to work with your hands, wanting to work outside, really like to build things. But then the other part is someone that's really detail-oriented, someone that's very organized and has good communication skills would really make a good construction worker.
Now we're out here at a real construction site. Can you tell me how you build stuff like this behind us?
A lot of planning and a lot of coordination with a lot of people. What you're looking at here is the byproduct of about 18 months worth of pre-planning, working with architects, working with our client, working with building tenants. There's a lot of people that come into play, and a lot of people that are impacted by the work that we do. So first and foremost, a lot of coordination and making sure that we have the right people on our side for everything from logistics, like you see from the crane here, to the individual trades with the different parts and pieces, and making sure that they show up on time when we need them. So in a word, coordination.
What's your position here at J.E. Dunn?
So I'm a vice president at J.E. Dunn Construction. We also refer to ourselves as group managers or project executives. So my role on a project such as this is to manage the overall team and help support them and the needs that they have, from everything from helping us to identify the project and win the project, all the way through execution and completion.
What type of problems do you run into?
There's a lot of problems that we run into, especially on a renovation project like this. You might tear a part of the building out and find something that wasn't supposed to be there, that you didn't know was supposed to be there, that might impact the way that you construct the building back. So coordinating with engineers and architects to figure out, can this item be removed, or do we need to work around it, and how does that change the work that we're doing? Other problems might be that maybe we have some materials that we need that aren't going to show up on time, or maybe we have a schedule issue that needs to be coordinated, where maybe two people need to be in the same place at one time. How do you figure out who's going to go first and how that impacts the others? You can call them problems, you can call them opportunities, but they happen every day.
What other careers are there in construction besides just wearing the hard hat and the vest?
Yeah, great question. Most people, when they think about construction, they think about the workers that they see when they drive by a project that are, swinging the hammers, running the cranes, and those people are absolutely the most critical. But you can really have any type of passion and still work in the construction industry. We employ lawyers on the legal side. We have project accountants who are really good with numbers. We have engineers and designers. We have schedulers. We have people whose job is quality control, to review the work that's being put in place and make sure that it's correct, so that we don't get down the road and then realize that we have to change it. Myself, I didn't know if I wanted to be an architect or an engineer. Went to school and decided I didn't want to be either. So I get to work with architects and engineers every day, but I get to do a lot of different facets of the project as well. So construction is one of those industries that no matter what your passion is, no matter what you are interested in, there's a lot of different places where you can find a home and find a career that's a lot of fun.
What's your position here at J.E. Dunn?
I am the superintendent for the project and for J.E. Dunn. I'm a carpenter by trade.
We've learned a little about the planning that goes into these buildings, but how are they actually built?
The field guys put the buildings together. The actual trades guys, the people that are behind us are called glazers. They work on windows, and that's what we're doing currently on this project, is replacing all the windows. So, but the panels that we are putting on the building today are coming in on a truck. They actually came from Canada, and then they're picked up and hoisted by the crane that you see back behind us. And we have people on the ground and people up on the building catching the pieces and snapping them into place. Currently, right now, we have 60 people working on site of all different trades, and it takes a lot of different trades to make this happen. So we have carpenters, laborers, cement finishers, glazers, electricians, pipe fitters, you name it. We have all the trades here working, but right now we have about 60 people here that start about 6 a.m. in the morning, and we typically go home somewhere around 5 o'clock. We are working 2 shifts right now, so we have a shift that starts at 3:30 that works till midnight, because we are working in a courthouse that's fully operational, and there are court cases going on, so we cannot make a lot of noise.
Can you tell me a little bit about your attire that you're wearing and why it's important for your job?
Yes, it's very, very important. We feel like that everybody works here doing this dangerous work goes home every evening to their families. So we are required to wear a hard hat, which I'm wearing, a high-vis vest. That's so other workers can see you. Crane operators can identify that there's a person there, and gloves and work boots, obviously jeans and long sleeve shirts. So
What do you think would make a good construction worker? Like what traits or anything along those lines?
What makes a good construction worker is somebody that cares about what they're doing and takes pride in their work, and is proud of something when they're done with it. So that's what we look for.
What type of skills do you think would make a good construction worker?
So a construction worker, someone who's actually building the schools on site, obviously math, science, communication, and they're probably skilled in some specific trades like iron worker or a laborer or someone who pours concrete or someone who has carpentry skills to install wood doors or cabinets. So there's a lot of different skill sets amongst the trades. For us, like project managers, communication is a huge part. Communication is key to being and having a successful project because you're working with so many different peoples. Like I mentioned before, you're working with our clients, you're working with design firms, you're working with engineers, you're working amongst our team. We then hire people to help build the school. Not every JE Dunn employee only builds the school, so we're working with a lot of people. Communication is very key. Being organized. Our background typically is in math and science and kind of the STEM spaces. So I would say that's a key focus if people and students are interested in whether it be construction, architecture, engineering, those STEM-related fields are always important.
One of the buildings JE Dunn has worked on you could take advantage of while you're in high school. If you want to be a nurse, fly a plane, or start your own business, they have classes for you. What has been your favorite thing you've built out of school?
So we've been fortunate enough to work with the Blue Springs School District for probably about 20 years, much of my career. We recently completed their freshman center at the Blue Springs High School. Along with that project, they had a unique aspect into where they were trying to connect that Blue Springs High School campus to the rest of their campus, what was the existing freshman center. So to do that, we had to build an actual bridge that crossed over a railroad track to connect those two campuses. That was a very unique part of the process. We are currently building their new Career Innovations campus that'll house specific programs, a lot in STEM, for students to focus on, whether that be aviation, communication, health sciences. That facility specifically is helping students get exposed to more than just the traditional things they are in school, and that be trades in those scopes and fields that I just spoke about. So we're really excited about that. It's going to be an amazing facility. We're just starting here in a couple of years. That'll be done, and I think that's going to support a lot of school districts, not only in Blue Springs, but in that general community.
Yeah, so what I do is I work with architects and owners, and we get designs for buildings really early on, and our job is to ensure that the cost of the building, as early as possible, aligns with the budget that the owner sets. So when an owner wants to build a new school, for instance, and they have $30 million to build the new school, our job is to look at a set of documents that might just be a single floor plan and to review that and to understand if it's going to be 30 million or 28 or 32. And then we work for several months, sometimes years, to ensure that it meets the budget when it goes out to bid.
What type of solutions do you have to come up with if your original plan is over the budget?
We call that VE, it's value engineering, and really it's trying to find different ways of supplying the same program and the same needs that the owner has in their building, but at less cost. So it could be changing a product type, the one that's less expensive. It could be thinking about how to build the building in a different way that just costs less money.
What type of skills do you think would be needed to have the job you have?
Problem solving. It's really like a puzzle. You want to look at what's shown on a document early on, what's not shown on a document early on. That's the important part. And then finding ways to communicate. You have to have really strong communication skills because we rely heavily on our trade partners. Those are the plumbers, electricians, and carpenters of the world. We lean on them heavily as a general contractor, and we hire them to help us build these buildings. So problem solving and communication, and then having a clear message to the owner so they understand and being that professional for the owner and the architect to know that our cost opinion of the building is correct. Sure. It's a career that as an elementary school student, as a middle school student, as a high school student, I didn't know existed. And there are plenty of careers like that, and there are lots of them, especially within the construction industry. JE Dunn, we have professional estimators, we have professional safety people, professional quality people. There are a lot of very specific roles and very talented professional people that work in those roles that we didn't know existed kind of growing up. So That's, I guess, my advice as an elementary school student is the construction industry is not just about the orange vest and the yellow hard hat and moving dirt. It's everything in between that and working in spreadsheets day in, day out.